So, what would happen if we could connect 100,000 architects, small firm architects all around the world, connect
Yeah.
100,000 of them together?
What an amazing idea, right? What an amazing dream. What an amazing goal that is. I'm excited about that because that idea of connecting the world's entrepreneur architects has been part of EntreArchitect from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's something that this is just the next step of that long dream from the very, very beginning, to connect all of the world's architects in order to be able to leverage the knowledge of that community, to be able to impact the world, like literally impact the world,
Right.
because of the work that architects do, to be able to connect 100,000 architects worldwide. Imagine what we could accomplish in terms of building a better profession, in terms of designing better buildings, in terms of the individual lives and businesses of each one of those individual architects. It would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that really lights up in my brain when we talk about this is that you and I have discovered that part of the DNA of an entrepreneur architect is this idea of starting this thing, building this thing, and having the ability to practice in my own way, practice the way
Right.
that I want to practice for, whatever those reasons are and whatever those ways are. And I have said for a long time that I think, where we are right now in the economy and society, et cetera, that as a boutique firm or small firm, sole practitioner, whatever version of that you want, you're limited to what you can do and the impact that you can have. And so I think this idea of saying, hey, here are 100,000 boutique firms, sole practitioners, small firms, however we quantify that, 100,000 of them that can practice in their own way, the way that
Right.
they want to practice, but have the ability to leverage a network of 100,000 firms. That suddenly becomes a game changer. We don't say anymore, hey, we can't compete for this or we can't do that. Absolutely we can, us and our 99,000 other partners.
Yeah, that's so exciting to be able to link up tens of thousands of firms and then be able to leverage the collaboration opportunities,
Yep.
the production support opportunities, right? When somebody needs help, we can facilitate the opportunities of collaboration, joint ventures, right? If you want to go after a bigger project, having a network allows us to say, well, this architecture firm and this architecture firm should be together or could be together, right?
Yeah.
That we could either match them up or they can match themselves up, and through the network, we can help them do that. And that's just the beginning, right? That's just what could happen at the early stages. Imagine taking 100,000 architects and the creative problem solving skills that those architects have and apply that through crowdsourcing knowledge and focusing it on global problems, right?
Yep.
Not even talking about designing buildings anymore. What about taking that network and leveraging it against global problems, because we're problem solvers?
Right.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think ultimately, I think that's the future, right? We talk about the value of an architect a lot. We're at a crossroads. I think we've been at a crossroads a long time, but we're at a crossroads where we really need to rethink and rebrand the value of an architect. And what you just said, I think, is exactly right. If you have 100,000 architects that, maybe it's just a portion of that network that says, hey, let's put our minds to this problem right here. Maybe it's a natural disaster. 100,000 architects putting their minds to rebuilding that in a better, more resilient, sustainable way. There's a lot of value to that can be proven. Hey, we've got famine. Hey, we've got homelessness. We've got whatever it is. I think you're exactly right. The value of an architect as one, it's still great. It has nothing to do with producing construction documents, but it does have to do with those problem-solving skills and being able to leverage 100,000 architects in a network, I really do believe that that is an incredible future for the profession.
And it's a perfect time for it because
Absolutely.
we are in our community, the EntreArchitect community, there are tens of thousands of architects who now know who we are, right?
Right.
That engage with us on a weekly basis.
Right.
Tens of thousands of them. But you and I and the rest of the EntreArchitect team have no idea who most of those people are, right? We know maybe 100 or a couple hundred people,
right,
that these are the people who are the most engaged. But imagine what would happen if we did know who they were, right? Mm-hmm. That we could network them, bring them together in a network, and say, okay, now we know who you are, we know where you work, we know the type of work that you do, and the type of opportunities that you're looking for.
Right.
That's pretty special.
It is special. And if we shift gears slightly and we think about the common problems of a small firm, right? There's always, how do I get work? How do I get it done? Those types of things. But it's also the lack of scale. We don't have the economy of scale. That I don't want to call anybody out, but let's just say Gensler, great big firm, right? They can do whatever they want to. They can leverage software purchases, hardware purchases, insurance purchases, all types of things that small firm owners look at and go, oh my gosh, I'm struggling to figure out where to even find insurance that's affordable and so on, or get health insurance or anything like that. Just on a very basic level, connecting architects gives us the leverage to go out to the marketplace and say, hey, you know what? That software doesn't work very well for the types of projects that we do, or we as a collective need to be insured or covered or a better deal on this. And that's just it's a very functional way of looking at it, but it's realistic when we really get down into the nuts and bolts of running and building businesses.
Yeah, and the value that the network brings to a member immediately, right? When you click the button and join this network, you instantly have access to a content feed, a news feed, right? Where all of the content that the network is generating in terms of questions and answers or resources that are sharing, it's a private community, just like some of the other private communities we have, but it's our community, right? And it's controlled by the community rather than a social media company. There are channels in the network for regions. So now we can organize our community by region. We can organize our community by topic, right? If you have a specific topic that you're either an expert in or you want to learn more information, you go into that discussion channel and you ask a question and you'll get answers from all of the other people who are in that channel. And that's happening right now.
Yeah. I think about what the EntreArchitect community Facebook group means to people, right? This is when you announced your 12-12-12 project back 10 years ago, right? And what came out of that was the EntreArchitect website, entrearchitect.com, the podcast, and then eventually down the road, the Facebook group grew out of that. And, I think about what people say about the Facebook group, and they say, this is a place where I can provide and get mentoring. This is a place where I can ask and I can answer questions. This is a place to get therapy. I saw that one the other day. That's exactly what's going on here inside the network to another level, right? And that I think is really, when we talk about community, and I get to beat the drum about this a lot, right? There are industries and companies out there that talk about community and they're missing the boat. They're absolutely missing the boat. They're looking at community in terms of, oh, this is how we can get and provide free customer service or something like that. That's not what we're doing here. That's not what we have here. What we have here, what we will eventually have here are a community of 100,000 architects that are all in it together, right? That are all in here with the interest of helping themselves, helping each other, supporting a community providing that therapy, providing that mentorship, providing those answers. And it comes in a lot of forms. Like you said, there are the conversations, there are mastermind groups. There's lots of content, lots of new types of content. We're really gassing that up at this point and reimagining what it is not only to have, but produce content and engage with content and leverage that content for the good of 100,000 architects.
Yeah. And you mentioned the culture of the community. From the beginning of EntreArchitect, the culture has been cultivated of sharing and caring. And I always say at the end of the podcast, love, learn, and share. Right? That's the mantra of the EntreArchitect community, that we care for one another individually. Right? I care for you because you are a member of this community, and I care about you. Right? And that we share our knowledge, whatever we have, and we can make the world a better place, or making another member of our community better in some way by sharing our knowledge. We do that. Share a resource, share a reference or somebody that they might know, and to have the opportunity to learn every day. Right? This network is taking all of these things that we've built over time and focusing them in one place. Right? This is the next step. This is the evolution of the EntreArchitect community. It started back in that personal blog that I wrote that encouraged me in the comments to grow it into something bigger, to turn it into the EntreArchitect platform at entrearchitect.com and the podcast. That was the 12-12-12 project. That's what we're celebrating in December 12th, 2022. Right. That 10 years ago that happened. And then that continued to grow onto social media platforms. Now we are here, right? Now we're going to take all of those things that we've built over time. We're going to launch this network, and all of that, the culture, all of the resources, all of the camaraderie and support that this community gives to one another, all of the love that is shown to one another is going to happen every day inside this network. And I'm so excited about what this thing is going to be in the short term, as well as what it potentially could be in the long term. It's super exciting.
Yeah, it really is. And I think what's really important about all of this is that, when you launched EntreArchitect, what came out of your 12-12-12 project 10 years ago is that one of the fundamental things that EntreArchitect has done, at least in this small firm, this entrepreneurial architect community, is it's shattered that scarcity mentality.
Right.
You're talking about culture, and that culture that's so famous in this profession of holding my cards close to my vest and not sharing, right? The scarcity mentality that drives me not trusting, not wanting to talk to anybody else about what we're doing in my firm. It's shattered that, and it's brought this abundance mentality, which really defines the culture of this community. And now we're taking it a step further. And it's so fantastic. I host Context and Clarity every day. In fact, as we're recording this right now, in just a few minutes, I'm going to go host a Context and Clarity conversation. And we're going to talk about exit plans today. But we have these conversations every day, and we can love, and we can learn, and we can share, which is just integral in the DNA of this community. But the next step here in this network, soon to be 100,000 architects, is to take action. Everything about this network is about doing and taking action. It's great to learn. We're certainly going to learn. We're certainly going to learn from others and help others learn, but we're going to put that education, we're going to put those learnings into action to build and really just put the accelerator to the floor. It is time to build not only stronger firms, build your firm stronger, build everybody's firm stronger, but to build a stronger profession so that we can, like you said a minute ago, so that we can change the world, not just the profession, but change the world. And I think, that's just amazingly exciting about this new network that we're launching.
I think that's good. I don't know what else we could say.
That's it.
I hope they'll join us.
They'll join us.